Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to have a little chat. So once again, welcome back. This is gonna be a little bit different than my normal videos. First of all, I need to comment on what a nerd I look like because I have a Taylor Swift shirt, I have a Taylor Swift throw blanket, you can see my clock on the wall. I'm just like looking at this and I'm like, oh geez, what a nerd. Anyways, this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift, although everything in my life has a little to do with Taylor Swift because that's just who I am. But anyways, on we go. So I don't really know exactly what I want to convey in this video, but I had just been watching some YouTube and I have had 3 videos recommended to me or just that auto played that were discussing toxic YouTube or BookTube behaviors and kind of calling out certain things. And I feel like I felt a little attacked and I just kind of wanted to address them. And I definitely don't want to name any names any of these channels because they're much bigger than mine, so I'm not interested in setting myself up for any backlash. But I mean, obviously give me your opinions if you already watch my channel. I just don't want to be specifically calling anybody out because it's not just one channel, it's several channels that put out these videos being like, this is toxic behavior, this is unacceptable, this is problematic. And so I just kind of wanted to give my opinion on some of those things. The thing that got to me the most, I'll just start with this, was that it seems apparently unbelievable to some people that a person could read 100+ books a year and it just seems ridiculous and they think so-and-so's lying about it and it's just stupid, don't you have a life? And I will say this, last year I read 190 books. This year my goal is 200 and I am on track to hit that. But for me, it's I don't wear this as any sort of badge of honor outside of there's an app that, has a goal thing and I decide to do it, on Goodreads, it really doesn't matter to me. I think Goodreads is just a good way to keep track of books that I've read. So the fact that it also counts them, who cares? It's not to make anyone feel like they're less than. And people have made me feel like I am a big loser nerd who doesn't do anything else with my time. And people act like, how do you do that? And it's just a hobby. It's just a hobby I have. Just like people like to watch TV. I don't watch a lot of TV on the regular. There's a few shows that I keep up with. I watch a lot of baseball during the summer times. And other than that, it's my alone time that, I spend by myself. I'm reading. And I don't think that's any different than somebody playing video games or whatever other things people do. It's just not any different. And so sometimes I'm made to feel like that's weird. We all just have things that we like to do, and it's silly to kind of put somebody down or think they're lying just because some people are fast readers. If I said I read all the time but I only got through 20 books a year, nobody would be trying to say that I'm a liar, even if I was reading the same amount of time. It just took me longer. I don't know. It just feels weird to me, and it just feels such a nitpicky and why? Who cares? I feel like the moral of this whole video is gonna be who cares, because that's just kind of how I feel about all of this. It's just if it's not hurting you and it doesn't bother you, who cares? Another big thing that people have talked about is that BookTube is notorious, and I guess BookTok as well, for content creators going book shopping and just buying 20, 30 books to do a haul video and then never reading them, having them sit on a shelf. I understand the concern for consumerism. In the past year and a half, I've tried my best to switch to ebooks and audiobooks so I'm not just collecting more and more physical books in my house because not only are they, worse for the environment because of paper and stuff, they take up space and they're more expensive. So that's definitely been a plus for me. I don't think that I care at all if somebody does a book haul and then doesn't end up reading any of the books that they bought. I just don't see how that affects me. And the thing is, I started watching BookTube well before I ever even thought about making a Bookstagram. Like, and I had that for like 2 years before I made a BookTube. And I've just always enjoyed watching people talk about books. And so if someone's not reading the books they buy, I don't care, because they might be telling me and letting me know of the existence of a book that I might really end up loving. And I feel like I try to do that too. I get books sent to me, and sometimes I know that this isn't the book for me and I'm not going to want to read it, and I still try to talk about it, even if I haven't read it, to kind of put that into someone else's ear, because maybe it's something that they will love. And I feel like when I started watching BookTube, that was my reason for coming here, and I stayed because I found booktubers who had really good personalities, and booktubers who really just like, I don't know, they liked the same books that I liked, and so I found out really good recommendations from them. And so if that's all that we're getting out of book hauls, that seems like it should be enough for anybody, because it's really not harming anyone whether someone doesn't read books. Additionally, I find myself with a lot of more books than I ever intend to read or can read in the hours of my day. And I resell them, and then I give them a new life. And I just think that maybe I'm overestimating, but I also think a lot of people that criticize are underestimating how many of these books are getting second, third, fourth life after the initial serotonin boost has worn off from buying books. Additionally, a lot of these end up going to little free libraries, to donated to like Goodwill, donated to libraries, and like they get around to other people, and I think that's beautiful. And if people want to spend their money on all kinds of books they're not going to read, I feel like that's their prerogative, and we just don't need to make it our business. Another thing I want to talk about is just how I guess this is sort of going back to what I had previously discussed, but how reading a lot of books for myself makes someone else feel as though it's a competition, when that's never my intention, and I literally can only speak for myself, but I just don't feel like that would be someone's intention to make this like a braggy thing or anything like that. At the risk of sounding like I'm anything, it feels like if someone tells you they read more books than you and you feel inferior, I feel like that's more on you, because unless the person is blatantly like bragging and saying you're not as good as me because you don't read as many books, I don't know. It just feels like one of those things that it's not a competition unless you make it so. I don't know. I'm probably just making no sense, and this video is stupid and might never see the light of day. But these things were just like kind of sitting in my brain, and I had some time to make a video, so I just went for it. Okay, this is probably gonna be the last thing I talk about, because like I said, I didn't write any of this down. I'm just talking. Like, I didn't write or plan any of this video. I just kind of said, let's hit record and see what comes out of my mouth. So yeah. The last thing that I want to talk about is special editions and like box sets and such, because I've seen a lot of criticisms on people who have multiple editions of the same book, have to buy a whole new set of a series because they changed the covers on one of the books, and so now they don't all match. And to me, we're gonna go back to my old friend, my old favorite 2 words, who cares? I get that consumerism is a problem. I really do. But some of these editions, different series, box set collections, whatever you want to say, are stunning. They're gorgeous. And if somebody is using this for a decor piece in their home, like, I just don't get the problem. It's not any different than any other kind of collection. I mean, it's not. People collect baseball cards. People go to like huge trade shows for different sorts of things that they collect. To me, it just feels like we are shaming people for the sake of shaming them and a hobby that they enjoy. Like, we can make jokes like, haha, my favorite hobby is buying books and my second favorite's reading or whatever. But like, if you have the money that you want to buy these fancy editions, even though you already have read the book or own the book, like, I just don't see how that's anyone else's business. I just don't. Someone explain it to me. Someone explain it to me. One last thing before you probably unsubscribe because this is a stupid video, but everything I've mentioned here and the things that I've seen that I haven't necessarily pinpointed all seem specifically kind of geared towards young women and the kind of books they like to read, and the fact that they read like fantasies and like young adult books and romances, just that's a big chunk of them. And I can't help but ask myself if these same criticisms would be as prevalent had the BookTube community been more geared towards like males and serious books. Just something to ponder. I don't know. Again, I don't even know if I'm going to post this video, but I just feel like these were things I wanted to say, and maybe I'll watch this back and hate it, but we'll see. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry this is all over the place and just very stream of consciousness as I'm just sitting here, but just really wanted to get this all out, and we'll see what we can do with it. If you have any opinions on this, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear any differing opinions, anyone that agrees with me. Just kind of let me know your thoughts, because I've watched several videos and now, you know, I can't stop and it just keeps showing me more videos with the same sort of content because I've watched like 4 in a row. So if you have opinions, let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.